If I asked you what your favorite childhood Minecraft YouTubers were, what would you say? If you were like me, it might have been people like Stampy, DanTDM, and popular MMOs. A bit older, and perhaps you watch channels like Vanoss Gaming, the Yogscast, or PewDiePie. A bit younger, and maybe you watch newer generation YouTubers like Dreamer Technoblade. Regardless, there has always been one common trait shared among these creators, and that's a genuine passion for the content they were creating. Whereas I would argue that the same can't be said for what family-friendly Minecraft content looks like today. Over the last couple years, it's become almost a trend in the Minecraft community for YouTubers with dying channels to abandon their audience and switch to making cookie-cutter, generic Minecraft videos aimed towards the YouTube Kids app, due to the extremely high amounts of money one can make while putting in way less effort than the stuff they were making before. Have an inactive YouTube channel or simply don't like the kind of content you're making anymore? Well, no problem. Just start uploading Minecraft mob battle videos and get tens of thousands of dollars a month. The biggest and most well-known example of this is with the channels Cash and Nico. Both of them had respectable, decent-sized channels in the Hypixel niche, uploading various Bed Wars and bridging themed challenges, to which around mid-2022, they would completely abandon and go all in on brand new channels, creating the exact content I just mentioned. And the result? Over 2.5 billion combined views and millions of dollars for each of them. However, like with any successful trend, this life-changing success started to attract the attention of lazy vultures looking to copy the same strategy simply because it was the easiest thing that worked. One thing Cash and Nico were aware of, however, was just how massive this niche was. In a census done back in 2021, the United States government discovered that around 75% of households with children under the age of 5 owned some sort of tablet for their kids. A lot of parents rely on these devices to keep their child entertained as an easy way of babysitting, oftentimes resorting to apps like YouTube Kids to let them sit and watch hours of content unsupervised under the guise that it's a completely safe way for them to consume content. And that's where a lot of these views are coming from. However, there's just one problem. The app just isn't completely safe. Sometimes it messes up. Sometimes highly inappropriate videos are able to make their way through its cracks, and sometimes it can allow some of the worst people on the platform to exploit the system and make ridiculously large amounts of profit while tainting the minds of millions of children around the world. And that's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. Join me, because we're going down the rabbit hole. Today's video is sponsored by Opera GX, the ultimate browser built specifically for gamers. Now, there's a good chance you've already heard of Opera GX for features such as GX Control, which allows you to limit how much RAM and CPU your tabs can use, unlike some other browsers. A built-in VPN, an ad blocker, and forced dark mode that works on any page, which, oh my goodness, saves my eyeballs from just getting absolutely disintegrated by Google Docs whenever I script these videos. But now, Opera GX has custom mods which allow you to fully personalize the browser exactly to your liking. It's as simple as clicking on the mods tab, going to the mod store, and finding one that you like. For me, it was this Minecraft Experience mod. I simply pressed the install button, and all of a sudden, everything from my wallpaper, background music, to even my keyboard and browser sounds had all completely changed. In this case, I was still looking for more, so I downloaded a mod that made my typing sound like a really expensive keyboard, and on top of that, Opera GX has also recently integrated a bunch of new AI-based features as well, like their own version of ChatGPT on the sidebar. Who is Caleb is Salty. He's known for creating high-quality documentary. Okay. You don't even have to worry about losing your bookmarks and extensions and stuff like that, because Opera GX has an import tool that's compatible with every major browser out there, which quickly brings everything over, allowing for an easy, smooth transition. So why not give it a shot? Download Opera GX for free right now and support the channel by going to operagx.gg/CalebIsSalty or clicking the link in the description. That's probably easier. And thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Like I mentioned previously, the success of Cash and Nico inspired many individuals to pursue family-friendly Minecraft content purely for the massive financial gain. However, as more and more creators began to hop on the bandwagon, it became harder and harder to find success in the niche due to how saturated it was becoming. and such, certain individuals began to push the limits of what was allowed on the platform just to get an edge on their competition. I think the YouTube channel Zay demonstrates this perfectly. Tell me why a simple video of them playing Minecraft with Spider-Man needs to have these weirdly suggestive characters on the thumbnail, or this video about them building a house with some character from Poppy Playtime, I guess, needs this thumbnail. Like, seriously, how does this pertain to the video at all? Why? Well, it's simple. Similar to how channels like MrBeast often use thumbnails depicting characters in extreme situations to generate shock value and get people to watch their videos, this niche of quote-unquote family-friendly Minecraft content often uses gruesome and suggestive imagery to grab the attention of young children, as it practically sticks out like a sore thumb in comparison to other videos, subsequently resulting in more clicks, more views, and more money. And this discovery had me wondering, just what kind of person would run a channel like this? And that's when I got into contact with Kobe, an 18-year-old YouTuber who currently runs multiple family-friendly Minecraft and Roblox channels, which have generated him over 65 million views combined. Recently, Kobe's gotten himself into quite the controversy, not only for his use of suggestive thumbnails, but for his wild and hilarious library of tweets bragging about his success, claiming that people need to quote-unquote wake up, escape the Matrix, and that he's a true warrior, which your boy might have taken a couple jabs at. Sorry, Kobe. A little after this drama had fizzled out, I decided to reach out to Kobe, requesting an interview in hopes of better understanding the mindset of someone behind these channels. And to my surprise, he actually agreed. Why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers a bit about yourself?
Sure, I'm Kobe and I make Minecraft videos for kids and Roblox videos too.
Yes, sir. All right, I noticed that you've gotten into, a little bit of drama, a little bit of funnies on Twitter recently. I've seen a lot of people pointing out your interesting choice of thumbnails.
Yeah.
And my main question is just, what inspired you to start using these thumbnails in your videos?
Well, in reality, I just saw other channels getting views with these thumbnails, so I thought, if YouTube's rewarding it, I'm going to do it and don't hate the play, hate the game type of thing. And I don't ever cross the lines. Everything's terms of service, or YouTube would take me down. So I think what I'm doing is pretty fire.
Now, I'd like to mention that using sexual or inappropriate themes in content targeted towards children in any capacity is, in fact, against YouTube's terms of service. It's just that they actively choose to not do anything about it, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And I think Kobe realized this, as just a few days after our interview, he would tweet out, "No more sus thumbnails, guys." By the way, we are extremely close to hitting 100,000 subscribers, so if you're enjoying the content so far, then please subscribe. It helps out a ton. Also, I agree that while the individual creators who do this should be held accountable, this problem goes far beyond just one individual. And oh my goodness, does it ever get so much worse. Now, for some of you, this topic may seem a little familiar. Around a year ago, a YouTuber named Viper uploaded a really good video talking about the same issue. In this video, he focuses on one specific subgenre of these channels, which revolve around impersonating real family-friendly YouTubers such as Cash and Nico, for example. These channels are specifically evil due to the fact that they use these well-known characters in their titles and thumbnails to not only trick the YouTube algorithm into recommending them alongside actual Cash and Nico videos, but to also trick unsuspecting children into thinking they're simply just other videos from their favorite creators. Where most of the channels I previously mentioned really only cross the line with their thumbnails and are relatively harmless otherwise, these impersonation channels actively use their content to promote all sorts of disturbing things to their audience, such as acts of severe gore and violence, torture.
"I knocked you out and tied you up. You shouldn't have bullied me. I'll take a bonfire and put it next to you. You're going to be very hot, and no one will find you in this cave."
And even sexual assault and rape.
"I'll kiss you. You're so helpless on this chain, and you can't resist me."
No! Don't do it!
All to their audience without any punishment whatsoever. In his video, Viper demanded YouTube to take down these channels due to their several clear violations of YouTube's terms of service. And given the widespread attention the video received and thousands of manual reports placed from his viewers onto these channels, that YouTube would step in and take action. But no, over a year later, these channels are not only still uploading and fully monetized, but they're also multiplying at an alarming rate. creating worse and worse content as the months go by. Meanwhile, Viper's original video would end up getting manually demonetized by YouTube, specifically for including clips from these imitation channels' videos.
My channel is small and I'm irrelevant. I don't have that type of influence. But when my video did start to gain traction, their solution was to shove it under the rug, hide my video in the algorithm, and do nothing about the actual issue.
Let's be real here. YouTube has the resources to fix this issue. They have the money. They've even done it in the past with the whole Elsagate controversy. So why are they refusing to do the same thing now? And if I had to guess, I would say it's for the same reason that these creators are even making the videos in the first place: money. It all ties back to money. If you didn't know, YouTube pays out its creators' ad revenue via a 55 to 45% split, meaning that however much money these channels are generating each month. How much money have you made from the Kobe channel?
The Kobe channel generated, I'm gonna say a couple 100,000. I'm gonna leave it like that.
YouTube is essentially profiting just as much. Factor in the literal hundreds of channels that are doing this, not even just in Minecraft, and you can start to see why YouTube might just try to shove this issue under the rug as long as possible. However, this strategy hasn't always worked out for them. Like I previously mentioned, this exact situation already happened around 7 to 8 years ago, otherwise known as Elsagate, where tons of channels were caught uploading extremely disturbing content aimed towards kids and bypassing the algorithm by using common household characters such as Spider-Man and Elsa. YouTube did nothing about this issue for as long as they could, until the problem got so big that it made national news, prompting the FTC to file a $170 million lawsuit against YouTube, specifically for violations against children's privacy law. It's the whole reason YouTubers have to choose whether or not their videos are made for kids. On top of that, the lawsuit also banned any inappropriate use of, quote, family entertainment characters, effectively stopping the issue altogether. But now, instead of using protected characters from Disney or Marvel, these channels are starting to make a return by using individually owned characters from YouTubers, which are just as, if not more recognizable to the audience that watches these kinds of videos, as a loophole to bypass these laws and restrictions. There were a lot of things that surprised me while I was researching for this video, but the one thing that really stuck out to me was the sheer amount of comments from people who had been exposed to this content growing up. Multiple studies have proven that children ages 0 to 8, the primary target audience of both YouTube Kids and these channels, are in the most formative years of their life. Everything they do, learn, and consume in these years play a huge part into shaping the type of person they'll be for the rest of their lives. Which is why exposure to violent and suggestive media at such a young age has been proven to create lasting trauma and serious damage to the development of the brain. These problems are echoed throughout the victims I found, with some people saying it severely affected their mental health, and some saying that their addiction to this content later manifested into more serious addictions such as gore and pornography. Not to mention the fact that these actions are done by characters that the child is most likely already familiar with and trusted, which then makes an impact on the reputations of the original channels behind it. If we go back to Viper's video for a second, a comment would be left by The Real Cash stating, "I've gotten DMs from so many angry parents because their kids are coming across these, and whenever I come to YouTube, all I'm told to do is just report the videos," which literally does nothing. These channels find every way to dodge themselves getting taken down, and since anyone can upload on this platform, we're just going to keep seeing these weirdo clones. I was originally going to end this video with some sort of call to action. You know, go to as many of these channels as you can and report them. Maybe we can get them banned. But at this point, I'd be pretty shocked if it actually made any difference. YouTube does not care about this issue, and as long as it continues to make the money, these channels and all of their disgusting content will likely remain up for millions more children to become exposed to. If you're somehow a parent or sibling of someone who might be at risk of this content, my best advice would be to simply monitor what they're watching online. And if that's too hard, just delete the app entirely and let them watch like Arthur or something, I don't know. Alright. Thanks for watching.